students, so today I'm going to teach you how to make a relief tile. I'm going to start with rolling this slab out right here, letting it dry to leather hard, and then I will show you how you're going to transfer and then start out the carving process. And remember, you have to have a foreground, middle ground, and a background. So I will show you step by step how to accomplish this. So if you're ready, let's get started. So I rolled it and then I turned it and rolled it again so that I can keep it more round, because what I need to do is cut this out. This is my template. I'm going to cut that out, lay it on here, and then trace it out. But I have to make sure that my guidelines are not wider than my rolling pin first. So I'm going to continue rolling until I feel that the pin is actually rolling on my boards that I've got here, okay? It's not touching right now, I can tell. So I'm gonna keep rolling until I achieve that, okay? So now what I wanna do is turn it. So just move your sticks away, turn it, place it back, and continue rolling until you can feel that your rolling pin is gliding on the top of these sticks. And I can kind of feel it right now. I think I'm there. So now I went ahead and cut this out. I'm just gonna lay it on there. It fits pretty close. Not quite on some of the edges, but I am not picky. I'm not gonna worry about that because it will be just fine, trust me. I'm just taking this cutting tool right here and I'm just cutting it out. Cutting that out, just like that. Okay, next step, take all of your extra clay and go put it in the extra clay bag on the cart. So I'm gonna go do that. Then you're gonna take your board, put it right here, pick up the whole thing, and you're done, okay? The only thing you need to do is make sure that you keep a piece of plastic in between the board and your slab. Don't forget to do that. So I need to slip some plastic right here. So why do I need to put plastic here before I lay the slab down? Do you like mold? I don't. That's why. We don't want mold. If you put your slab directly onto this wood, you are gonna get nasty mold. I don't wanna be sick, so make sure you do not forget that, please. So now let me show you what I've done here. This is my template that I used to trace my clay out. I have drawn it all out, everything in black, so all of these areas that I have blacked out, I'm going to carve down. So carve down, carve down, carve down, and the background carve down. Everything that has stripes on it, I'm leaving alone, and everything that is white, I'm gonna add clay to and build it up. So now that I traced it, I went ahead and took it off, here it is. Then I'm just gonna carefully go over my lines, just carefully. Remember, my clay is leather hard. You should have waited a day until it turned to leather hard in order to do this, but I'm just gonna trace it to designate my lines a little bit better. Okay, students, so I traced over the lines. Okay, so now that I can see my image, I know what I'm doing. Don't throw this away. This is important. You need this because this is your guide. This is going to tell you what to do. So if you throw it away, you're going to forget, okay? So you're going to start carving out your dark areas first. So So that would be the next step here. Okay, so I laid a bunch of different tools out. I am gonna just start by using this tool right here because the background, I'm using my template. Remember, my template is gonna tell me what to do. So the background, I know I need to take out. So I'm gonna just start carefully carving away from the line. You wouldn't wanna carve into it because if you mess up, there's no fixing that. So just start by carefully carving away like this. And remember, students, as you're carving, you want to make sure that you don't carve too deep. If I carve, you know, really deep and press down really hard, then I'm gonna end up hitting the bottom and I'm gonna just chip all the background off. And then my whole design is a wreck. So very gently, very carefully, craftsmanship is key for this. So let me show you a trick. When you're getting towards the edge and you're carving off to the edge, put your thumb right here, okay? And then go ahead and carve onto and touch your thumb like that. If you don't and you just carve without your thumb as bordering and holding this edge in, it's gonna crack off. So try to remember that. Remember that you have other tools to use. You can always use the brush to get off the little burrs. I have smaller tools in here like this one that I could use for smaller areas. If I wanted to start carving little tiny areas out, I could use that. You know, so there's other tools that are very useful. So another thing to remember, students, is when you are taking out these black areas, remember that carving a small amount at a time. Less is best. Try to remember that. Carving a small amount at a time is better than taking out huge crevices, because if you take out huge crevices, you're going to slip and gouge, and it's gonna be awful, okay? So less. Okay, I have finished step one, which is to carve out all of the dark areas. So I carved out all of these areas on here, okay? You can see this is a subtraction method. So they're all carved out. I went ahead and brushed them a little bit with this so that I could, this is just a regular paintbrush, so that I can clean it up a little bit and then I can move on to step two. Okay, students, so let me show you something. I left this covered really good overnight because I knew that I still need some more steps to it, okay? So here it is. I didn't leave any air flow going through it all because I do not want this to dry at all, okay? So what I'm gonna do next is take a wet brush, and I'll show you what I'm gonna do with that. So let me show you what I'm doing. Here is my water, and it's just a paintbrush that I'm using, okay? I'm gonna move this down so you can see what I'm doing. I'm just going to start cleaning it up with water like this. That way all those little burrs will get smoothed out, and then I can just take my finger and just smooth those areas out with my finger. And it's gonna look so much cleaner and nicer and neater if I do that. Here's another thing that you can do. Take a Q-tip and dip it in the water, and then the Q-tip can actually help with some of those more fine little areas that you need to get into because your finger is a little bit bigger than the Q-tip, right? So this will be very helpful. Just kind of go through it like this. Okay? So try that and see if that works out for you. So now I'm ready for all of my build-up areas, because remember, all of these areas with the stripes are areas that I'm gonna leave alone. So I'm leaving alone, leaving alone, leaving alone those little mountains and this little swirl right there. So I'm gonna build up all the white areas. I'm gonna start with this area right here. Okay, that's my first build up. I'll show you how to do that next. Okay, So remember that you need to score and slip, so that's what I'm doing. I'm scoring all this area right here. You need to score it pretty good because you want to make sure that it stays, right? And then I'm going to score the inside of this, and I'm going to add slip and stick it on. Okay, so I'm almost finished. I still need to do more build-ups. I obviously need to clean up the edges around here, but do you see how it's starting to pop now? Remember, you have to have a foreground, middle ground, and background. So once I get all the foreground finished, then you're gonna definitely be able to see those layers. So good luck. I hope you do a good job on yours.